What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us and welcome back to Elite Fantasy Nation Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Dennis. You can follow me at Fantasy Matt EFN. And as always, with my dude, Pat Wendelkin, you can follow him at City Stars 136. What's up, Pat? How you been, man?
Brother. How's it? Nothing much, man. Same old stuff. Battling a cold just like everybody else is right now. This harsh winter. Well, in the Northeast, it's been getting some crazy snow lately, but we're getting better little by little. Had another 4 inches this morning, but we're surviving, bro.
Yeah, at least we're not getting it here in the Midwest, so we'll send it your way anytime, man. I'll take that.
We'll take it. No big deal.
Yeah, dude. So why don't we spend a couple of weeks? So last time we did a live podcast, it was back, did the YouTube podcast. It was back right before the Super Bowl. So we got a couple of things that we can discuss. I'll hand it over to Pat here in a second. He'll take us through the news. We'll go through the news, kind of, some stuff that we can catch up on. We'll talk about the offseason. We're now officially in the NFL offseason, so we'll talk about some upcoming dates. And then Mike Clay from ESPN dropped his 2024 PPR rankings, so we'll pull that up and kind of go through a little bit position by position, what stands out, some call-outs that we have, some discrepancies and kind of challenges that we have. And then we'll kind of wrap it up with, there's a couple of additional coaching hires since the last time we were on. So we'll talk about that and how that may affect fantasy. So that being said, man, take it away, Pat. Take us to the news.
Yeah, not a lot, but short and sweet. As everyone knows, and they should know by now, Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Great game, long overtime. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. It was good. I won some money in some football pool boxes, so
yeah,
it was a good night overall.
It started out really slow. I mean, I was watching it at home and doing work, actually working in the room, finishing this room up. The first half was pretty boring, to be honest with you. I was like, I'm glad I'm not really paying attention. And then it was like by the middle of third quarter, it just like took off, and it was just like a pretty exciting game after that, I feel like.
Yeah, it was a defensive, for defensive people loved it. I mean, that's all it was. It was back and forth, good, solid defense, and no one really got anything going. But it was a good finish, man. And it almost went to literally to the last seconds in overtime already. So that was awesome.
Yeah, well, if they would have gone to a second quarter in overtime.
That's true.
Yeah, so I know everybody's freaking out about the time clock, and I was actually freaking out about it until I was listening to the podcast or the broadcast afterwards, and they basically were saying that if because they hadn't scored and they hadn't really been denied, the Chiefs would have still had the ball and they would have gone into the second quarter to allow them the opportunity to score since they hadn't scored already or been denied.
Correct.
So
it would have carried on.
But that was good, dude. It was a nail biter, man. Patty Mahomes, taking it over at the very end. What do you think of the outcome? Because I was kind of mixed, man. I kind of really wanted Purdy to win. I thought that would have been a great way to end that story or to continue the story, but it is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, dude, you could look at it two ways. It's cool to see this, last pick guy, finally get a second year winning a Super Bowl. Pretty impressive. I mean, they made it think about it. Second year, he already went to the Super Bowl, dude. He's got a long career.
He was at the NFC Championship last year. The only reason why they didn't go to the Super Bowl last year was he got hurt. Yeah, they were winning that game, and it looked like they were going to dominate that game until he got hurt.
So I think it's great, but then at the same time, look, I'm a Bengals fan. Could care less. Burrowhead, the whole nine, great. But I'm at the same time, it's kind of cool. It's a new era, I guess. Past Brady, kind of passed everything off, and dude, Mahomes is really good. He is a sick quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, he's the one that won the Super Bowl. He's the one.
Yep. Oh,
that
no
puts
doubt.
his team on his back, and he's like, "We're going. I'll do the work. I'll put the workload on me, and I'll just make it happen." And he does, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
So you gotta give him a lot of props, bro.
He's got what? Rashee Rice is his number one wide receiver, and then he's got Travis Kelce, who's been injured. It's Travis Kelce, so nobody ever doubt him. But
Correct.
It's he doesn't have rock stars. I mean, it's basically to your point, it's Patrick Mahomes, and nobody even. This year when they didn't really go after any free agents, nobody predicted that they were going to be in this position, especially at the very beginning of the year when their offense looked very bad and was struggling a lot. They lost the first game, to Detroit.
Yeah, no.
And it wasn't looking good. And then, here they win another Super Bowl back-to-back champions, first time in 19 years, if I remember correct?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, man. I was happy. At the end of the day, I was happy. My wife loves them. It was a good time, man. We had a blast. Going into that to more of a somber point, they have a great celebration, and of course someone has to ruin it. It looks like it was two juveniles were involved in the shooting. One lady passes away. It's 19 injured. Sucked. Yeah. I look on the news and I texted you and you didn't even know. You're like,
yeah,
what?
I had a crazy day at work. I was in meetings. I was in meetings all morning, so I didn't even get a chance to really jump online or anything. But yeah, once you texted me, I saw it. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. This shit needs to stop. We're not gonna. It's a
It's
podcast
unnecessary,
about
dude.
fantasy football. It's like people are supposed to have fun celebrating. I mean,
Yeah.
I was reading this about there's some type of altercation that might have happened or whatever. No excuse, regardless. I mean, it's like, come on, dude. Like, keep your shit together. So yeah, our heart goes out to everybody
Man,
involved and affected by that, by all means. So
yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, it sucks. But like I said, I don't know, it is what it is, bro. Today, just got to keep it moving, and pray for everyone, and hopefully, all the children, everyone gets healthy, and then we start right back up where we are, and then like you said, I'm more on like another good news that's kind of cool for us and fantasy owners and everything else. Travis is coming back next year. Travis Kelce.
yeah,
that's pretty cool news. I like to hear that.
yeah, he made that announcement like right after as they're doing the celebration. He's like, "Oh, I'm coming back." He's like, "They want a three-peat," so that's motivation for him to come back and see what they can do. I don't think anybody's three-peated. Maybe the Dallas Cowboys might have. I think they're at the third one, but I think they might have lost their third one.
Yeah, no one has hit the three-peat. You're talking Michael Jordan numbers now, so no one in the football world has done it.
Dude, yeah, no, it's crazy. It would be insane. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Bro, it's impressive. Three-peat.
Yeah, I mean,
it could happen for sure, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna doubt anything anymore after what they did with what they had. Pretty impressive, man.
What do you think of the altercation that Kelce had on the sidelines?
He loses his cool, bro. He's like a little hothead. I think he's getting gassed up. Maybe it's the Pfizer commercials. I don't know what he's doing, bro. But he's like, bro, relax, man. Like you got to respect your coach. I don't care who it is. Like you have to show composure and like respect.
Andy Reid is like so soft and like quiet and reserved and like even in the
he
apologized
interviews, though. He apologized multiple times.
No, I know, but it's just like, dude. I mean, it's just like, dude, you can't have that look.
It was unnecessary.
Like, it was a rage. It wasn't even like he bumped him and like was like talking to him. He was like raging in his face. I mean, it was like kind of
dude, you
uncool.
Can't have that, bro. Sorry.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, and I mean, you wonder too. I'm blanking on the dude's name. The guy in the defense for the 49ers that like tore his Achilles running on the field.
Yeah, right before it didn't even make it. Like it ran on it and just went right down.
Well, no, he ran on and ran off. Like he ran on. They told him
he was running back on.
Yeah,
and he jumped, and then that was it. And then he walked right back and got carted off. Oh man, I forgot his name. But I know you're talking about. Dude, that was horrible.
Dude, but I mean, he was like dominating. He was dominating the first like quarter that he was in. So you just wonder like what that would have changed if he was able to stay on. And continue to play the full game, the linebacker. So I mean, it's just it sucks for them for San Francisco because I feel like they've been so close a couple of times, and close doesn't really matter if you don't win the final game. So
no, you need to win it, finish the deal, bro.
Yeah. So did you mention about the money that was donated?
Oh yeah, it was cool. Yeah, that's right. Taylor Swift donated to a GoFundMe for the lady that passed away for her family. Give her $100,000. I think
it was like $100,000.
Yeah. It was really, I think it's nice, man. I mean, the little things like that. I mean, to her, it's nothing. To someone else, that's major. But no money can replace a life. But
of course not. No, but
something's better than nothing. So I tip my hat off to her. I think that was really admirable for her to do. So I liked it.
Yeah,
and it should be noted too.
It definitely should be noted. I mean, dude, there's a lot of people who could have done stuff for families like that and never do. So,
100%, man.
Yeah, and I was reading too. I guess it was like the number one watched Super Bowl or sporting event in history too. Like it broke records from what I saw. I think the next day.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's big, man. There's a lot of action. Plus, it's in Vegas, dude. The whole thing was just amped up, super big, man.
You have women that probably wouldn't even care, but because Taylor Swift was there, like they were definitely involved. So I think that had a lot of pull with it too. So, so it was cool. I mean, it was a nail biter. Like I said, it was pretty good. What do you think of the halftime show with Usher? Did you watch it?
To be honest with you, I was in the middle of going from one house to another, so I kind of missed it.
Okay, I mean,
but I heard it was good.
It was okay. It was whatever.
Yeah, man. Some people like it, some don't. To their own taste.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think my favorite halftime show ever was probably the one with Snoop and Dr. Dre. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago when they did the one in L.A.
Yeah. Yep. The Bengals lost. Trust me. Oh, I remember.
Oh yeah. I forgot that was the Bengals one. Sorry.
Yeah, they had the home Super Bowl, so. That was good.
Yeah. No, but it was just like who they put on. Like Eminem popped out. It was just like,
man, it was
whoa,
cool.
dude. It was all stars. So yeah, awesome, man.
So Matt,
appreciate that. What's up?
I was gonna say, I'm like, it sucks because I've gotten 5 calls and texts saying like, dude, it's over. I'm like, yeah, no, it's really over this time. Like, there's no more football till, whatever. But I'm like, wait, we do have upcoming stuff coming. And I'm like, you don't even realize how quick it is. And, Matt, we were just briefly talking about this before we got on, like a week away already, Matt. Like, let them know, man. Like, it's not over.
No, we got a couple of events, especially if you're in Dynasty, these events are critical. I'm in more Dynasty leagues now than I'm in Redraft. So the offseason, the NFL season never really ends. So the offseason Super Bowl kind of ends, and then the offseason kicks off. So a couple of upcoming events that we just wanted to highlight. So first one is the NFL Combine is 10 days away. That's it, man. So it kicks off on the 27th of February, which is, I think, a Tuesday maybe. And then goes to March 4th. The quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers all go on Saturday of that week, which I think is the 4th, Saturday the 4th. Then you got free agency. Right. Yeah, then you got free agency kicks off March 13th. So you start to see pools of money being thrown around and players being signed on different teams. You get to see what happens to T. Higgins if they franchise tag him or if he goes somewhere else. You'll know about the franchise tag before that, obviously, but that's going to be pivotal, like going into the NFL draft, which the NFL draft then is April 25th through the 27th, man. So it's going to be the next, you're talking, what is that, 2 months between now and the draft. So a lot of, first of all, there's going to be a lot of questions. You already got a lot of talk about the Bears and what they're going to be doing at the number 1 spot.
Yeah, man.
Apparently, even at the Super Bowl is one of the biggest conversations that a lot of teams and people are having, like, what are they going to be doing? Are they going to stick at 1? Are they going to trade Fields and, draft Caleb? Are they going to trade the number 1 pick? And we'll talk a little bit about some of the coaching updates to hires and Washington Commanders and thoughts of what they might do. There's going to be a lot of questions and a lot of probably smoke and mirrors and smoke screens and all this other shit that's going to be thrown around in the next couple of months. But if you're in Dynasty, man, this is the time of year that you are really jazzed about because the offseason is a fun time. So a lot of redraft people probably turn all the news off at this point and just kind of wait until June, July, August until they kick it back off again. But this is my favorite time of year, man, because it's where the fun begins. So yeah,
for sure.
So a couple of upcoming events, man, to note. We had initially talked about maybe trying to do the draft together and meet up at the draft, but maybe just watch it online or something. But the combine, I think, is
going to be tough. But the combine,
it's going to be tough. But the combine is going to be where I think it's all really going to start to accelerate because after that, I think there'll be news about, at least on the number 1 pick, whether or not the Bears will stick at number 1 or they'll start to trade. That's what they did last year. Like right after, I think it was like a week after the combine is when they traded the number 1 pick to Carolina. So you'll probably see them move fairly quickly before free agency at least, because that way I assume they're going to do it before, so then teams would know whether or not they need to go after a quarterback via signing, or if they have Fields, they don't need a quarterback, so what that looks like. So yeah, it's going to pick up fairly quickly. What are you excited about for your team, man? I mean, my team's got the 3rd. So the Bears had are 3rd for overall money to spend. I think 70 million or 71 million. And then they're obviously had the number 1 pick and the number 9 pick. So it's going to be a huge offseason for the Chicago Bears. So hopefully they don't fuck it up.
Yeah, no, you guys are the center of attention. They're talking about it in New York sports all over, like ESPN and everybody, all the radio stations are talking about you. Like, dude, it's the make or break year. This is it. This decides your future. 100 million %. For the next 10 years, they said this is literally the Bears' year. So,
well, because if you think about it, so play it out, right? So let's say the Bears decide to stick with Fields. They trade Caleb or the number 1 pick. Caleb has been compared to Patrick Mahomes just because of his throwing style. I'm not saying that people are not assuming that he's going to win 3 out of 4 Super Bowls in his first 5 years or 6 years. Mm-hmm. But the conversation is that he's that generational. So if the Bears, let's say, stick with Fields, they pass on him, meaning Caleb, and Caleb has this amazing top 5 QB career that could destroy this franchise. Or the flip side of it, they trade Fields, who's very well loved in the city, very well loved by his teammates, and they bring in Caleb, and he's not the leader, not the guy that they thought he was, and it doesn't work out because it doesn't always work out at the number 1 pick. So, right. And then that causes them to then and then Fields goes somewhere else and has a great all-star career. Yeah, there's a lot that could come out of it. Or if they trade it and they get more draft capital, like how they could build a team. There's a lot of interesting dialogue in Chicagoland area and all across the country about what they could do. And regardless, it'll probably be a great situation and scenario, regardless of what direction they take.
No, you guys are weak. It's exciting. I'm happy for you, bro. I'm gonna let you have your time, bro.
Yeah,
it's up to you.
I see. I'm not going to be happy until we start beating the Green Bay Packers. So, like, I don't give a fuck who the quarterback is at this point.
Okay.
I just want us to start beating the Green Bay Packers. Like, I'm sick of. I live in Milwaukee, like I mentioned a couple of times. I'm sick of hearing the banter about the Bears still suck. That's basically what the chants that they say. You know, like every time the Bears and Packers play and the Bears lose, it's the Bears still suck. Which we do up until this point. We haven't won, I think, in like 6 years, dude. That's how long it's been since they beat the Packers. So
right.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking forward to like what the Bengals had happen. You know, they were like the what was it? Not the Bengals, or like the Bungles or something like that they were called. You know, and
Dude,
then all of a sudden,
was really
like nobody wanted to go to Cincinnati, and then you get Burrow, and then a year later you get Chase, and look at where you guys have come to. So
yeah, but this year, like talking about everything going on, dude, there's a lot of my team is not settled in a lot of spots. You're gonna see some changes. I think the wide receiver changing will be happening. I think we'll be drafting someone in the line again. I need to make it as strong as they can, dude. I'm telling you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
there's still some holes, like,
bro.
They need to protect him. They need to protect
dude,
Burrow.
You can't have another injury this year. Let's put it that way. Dude, you cannot have him get hurt this year. He needs a solid year.
He needs an off-season.
Training camp all the way across.
He's never even had a full training camp off-season.
No, never.
Yeah.
Some surgery, something. He's sick. I don't know. Has a bad toenail. Dude, every year I'm like, are you going to
his
make
appendix explodes?
I'm like, what next, bro? Like a meteorite hits him in the head. He's got a burn. He can't play. I don't know, dude. It's going to be something like, Jesus Christ, can we please have a normal year for once in my life?
Yeah.
That's all I want. So
yeah.
This is where I'm kind of excited too, because, you know, I like Redraft, and Mr. Mike Clay from ESPN gave us the 24 rankings already. I'm super kind of like pumped. Like, it makes me happy. I mean, it's super early, but, you know, it's something that, you know, like hang your hat on for a little bit. Just, you know, you need bridges, man, and got to start somewhere, right, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few of them that are in here, actually. Eric on ESPN, and we'll put the link in the podcast feed. ESPN, Eric Carabell actually has a Superflex top 200 as well, listed off as well. But Mike Clay's a little bit more important in this space. But yeah, actually, jump in the. We're gonna pivot, dude. Jump in the Eric Carabell, because we'll talk Dynasty for a minute, and then we'll jump back into to Redraft. If you're cool with that.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I don't care, man. Go ahead. You can kick it off, man. This is you're the pro in this more than I am.
So Josh Allen, number 1 quarterback, QB1, number 1 overall. You've got Jalen Hurts, number 2, which I think is surprising. Actually, I feel like if you were to take away a lot of his like rushing touchdowns, I feel like Jalen didn't really do that great this year, to be honest with you.
No,
it was, you know, take away those rushing touchdowns. I think he had 7. And like he's probably like QB 7 or 8. You know, he's not really that far up there. So Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, number 4. I mean, it's not Dynasty, but I'm surprised that he's ahead of CD Lamb, to be honest with you.
I can see that.
CD Lamb. We'll go through the top 20 here, and then we can jump over to PPR in a minute. Just a regular draft.
No, go ahead.
So you got Tyreek Hill, number 4, CD Lamb, number 5, Justin Jefferson at 6. Amon-Ra St. Brown at he's wide receiver 4. He's at overall number 7. Your boy Jamar at number 8, wide receiver 5. Then Patty Mahomes, number 9 for QB3, followed by Lamar and Dak and Justin Herbert, and then your boy Joe Burrow. So it goes back to back to back, 5 QBs in a row. Then it jumps to RB2, which is Breece Hall. Kyron Williams, RB3, which makes a lot of sense. He's ahead of Bijan Robinson.
That dude's a rocket, man.
Dude, he's fucking nuts, man. Yeah, then you got Jahmyr Gibbs. CJ Stroud is QB8. And then you got Jordan Love is QB9. That one surprises me a little bit.
As going up or down, where would you have him?
Well, I mean, he's got him above Justin Fields, above Kyler Murray, and above Anthony Richardson. I would say you could probably argue all 3 of those could be higher than CJ Stroud. Or sorry, Jordan Love. I would definitely have
Stroud's good.
No, Jordan Love is who I meant. Sorry. They have Jordan Love, Brock Purdy. So I'd at least have all 3 of those guys above Brock Purdy, personally. But yeah, so that was a little surprising. I mean, I feel like they're probably all in the same tier, so I couldn't be too bothered by it. But yeah, so Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Then AJ Brown at wide receiver 6. Garrett Wilson at wide receiver 7. I've kind of gone past the 20. We'll go to 25. Puka Nacua as wide receiver 8. Then it kind of just goes. I think after the quarterbacks we can kind of stop. So then it goes Puka Nacua, Justin Fields, Kyler Murray, Anthony Richardson, and then it goes to like Rashad White and then Saquon Barkley, which who knows where Saquon's going to be. So I think
where he's going to end up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I understand.
Yeah. So that's interesting. It's interesting. What do you think?
I think it's cool. I mean, like, I think injuries are playing a lot with some of these rankings too. I mean, you got to see where everyone's going to end up. I mean, like, there's a lot of like question marks. Even with Burrow, you know what I mean? Like, can you have a solid year? Because he has the potential to be better than anyone. But you know what I mean? You got to rank him accordingly to what he could do and how long he can stay on the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Jamar's play is affected by the quarterback's play. So you know what I mean? There's a lot of like people get tied. You know, I think CD should be highest.
Yeah, 100%.
Should be number one.
To me, he's wide receiver 1. Like I actually I jumped to Mike Clay's, but I think CeeDee Lamb number 1. I actually think Tyreek Hill even in Superflex to me being even number 2, I think is high. I'd put him at like 3 or 4, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
I think it'll be interesting in Cincinnati with like Chase, as we talked about. You mentioned a minute ago, the wide receivers. Like if he's the only one and they bring in rookies, will that change the cover? I mean, obviously he's getting double covered because of Jamar Chase, but will that change his outlook for fantasy? Like, will it be stock up a little bit? I mean, he's already high up as it is, or it could be stock down because, you know, with the rookies that, you know, they don't do as well. And then, you know, he's getting blanket coverage like all the time. So that could affect him along with the quarterback play, as you mentioned.
Dude, you need a solid core across the field to make it evenly spread to help everybody out. I mean, I don't
to
care
get the attention off of you for sure.
Yeah, like, cause you're the number 1 guy, so you're gonna get number 1 attention at all times. You'll be double covered. You'll be, you know, even in the zones, they're gonna lean heavier on you, so you're not gonna have easier catches, no matter how you look at it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it depends. There's a lot of things that are gonna play. Once free agency hits, we'll kind of see more of like the trajectory of where people are gonna end up, I guess you can say. Because then you'll see who's moving, who's not, and then draft day, trades, and whatever else happens also. You know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of up and down. So, like, this is all kind of like, you know, prelim. Man, I don't hear you.
I did it again. I did the same thing you did.
Listen, I was like, that's all right. I'm like, oh man, I was
trying to move the mic, and I must have hit the mute button. I forget that it's on this side. And
that's
then
all right.
Panic a minute. So I think it'll be interesting, and obviously all the analysts have said that like this will change. This will be very fluid. Is basically what you're getting over the next 2 months. I don't think. Honestly, this whole offseason, even after the draft, it won't, you know, a lot of this won't be locked in until, you know, training camp and stuff like that when they start to see, at least as you get farther down. That's why we don't want to go too far down this list because it gets more and more fluid the farther down you go. But you can have injuries during the preseason, during whatever camp that they have. I mean, there's always stuff pops up. So a couple of things. I jumped over the Mike Clay one, so we can kind of jump into that one. And then I just want to jump on a couple of these. So Mike Clay has got Puka Nacua at wide receiver 7, which I actually kind of think is probably the perfect spot for him. So from a wide receiver standpoint, he's got CeeDee Lamb number 1, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and then it goes down to Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then it goes to AJ Brown, and then Puka Nacua. And then after that, it's Stephon Diggs, Garrett Wilson, and then rounded out wide receiver 10 is Devontae Adams. Devontae is going to be interesting. So let's just kind of like highlight the guys that we think are interesting. I think Devontae will be interesting because it depends on who they get for quarterback, right? So are they going to go out? Are they going to, they're pretty far down there as far as the draft order. So are they going to go after a highly touted free agent? Are they going to try to make a trade? You know, obviously Luke Getsy, so that's one of the things that we haven't talked about yet. Luke Getsy was hired on as their offensive coordinator. Before that, this is in Las Vegas. Before that, there's a lot of chatter that the Raiders might trade or try to make a push for Fields, just because of the fact that they are so far down in the draft for them to be able to like realistically get somebody that position in the first round. Probably wouldn't be reliable. But now with Luke Getsy being there, everybody is assuming that they're not going to repair the two together. So that probably eliminates Fields going to Las Vegas, which sucks for the Bears because it takes somebody out of the contention for a trade. But
more picks.
And more picks, yeah. But I mean, regardless, it makes you wonder who their quarterback's going to be at the end of the day. So I'm curious to see how he does. I'm honestly curious to see, Stephon Diggs with we talked about this, I think, the last podcast as well. He's wide receiver 8 on this, right behind Puka Nacua. He didn't finish anywhere near the wide receiver 8, like at the end of the season.
No, not at all,
4 or 5
bro.
games. Like he was closer to like
Nope.
wide receiver 20 or 30, or 25. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm really concerned about where that goes. But it'll be interesting, and yeah. So there's a couple that kind of jumped out at me. I don't know if there's any that. Yeah,
I got a couple because I'm looking at the unrestricted free agents, right? And this is from like my standpoint. So you got Saquon in New York. Who knows? They're a mess right now anyway with their stuff. Josh Jacobs, great. So here's the two that I think are like super big. I think Michael Pittman and Mike Evans. You throw them in the right freaking those two, bro. Throw Pittman on the other side of Jamar Chase. Like let's say Higgins leaves
or DJ Moore.
And you put or DJ Moore or Mike Evans, bro. I love Mike Evans. I don't care what you say. That's what
I'm saying. He's saying Mike Evans is next to like DJ Moore or whoever, or for Cincinnati
man.
Like, or for
those
the Bears.
Are huge. Like I mean, dude, what are you kidding me?
I would be surprised if they allow Pittman to leave Indianapolis because they can always franchise tag him, or they can, he's already there. They've got Anthony Richardson. They can convince him to stay. I would be personally and there's nothing that I've read either way. But personally, I'd be very surprised if Pittman leaves Indianapolis. Mike Evans, I could see. I don't know. I could see him leaving. For one thing, I could see him leaving because he wants to get a championship. He's not going to get it in Tampa Bay.
No,
he's been in Tampa Bay his whole entire career. So it's like one of those things where all right, we've had it. Well, I guess they've won the one championship in Tampa Bay. I should say, obviously with Tom Brady. But,
with Brady.
But he's not going to win another one. So it's like if he wants to chase another championship, or if he just wants to go after the bag, one last hey, give me 2 or 3 years. I could see easily a team like Chicago saying, hey, 3 years, $60 million, let's go.
For sure.
Front load it, $20 million a year just to kind of get somebody more reliable than what they have. I agree. Like those, I think, are 2 massive free agents as we talk about the offseason that can make huge, for whoever the quarterback is. If they stay where they're at, it's obviously good for the quarterbacks that they have. But if they leave, it's just gonna raise the draft stock of those particular teams and the quarterbacks that they go to. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Your Cincinnati Bengals would be crazy.
Yeah, man. I'm looking at this. I'm because then I'm looking. I'm Higgins most likely. I think he's gonna go. That's my opinion. And Boyd is also a question mark.
Or do you don't think they're gonna tag him?
They could, and then you lose Boyd. You're gonna lose somebody. I don't see both staying this year.
Oh, they can't. They can't.
Yeah, they're both pivotal. But I mean, if you do let one go and you bring another one in, I won't be super hurt. Higgins is he's great. Love the dude. He's done a lot for us. And then Boyd too. He's just a workhorse too in the slot a lot of times. And he's a good dude. But if you replace him with someone decent like that, I'm not gonna be mad. Dude, Mike Evans on the opposite side. I'm just saying hypothetically, Mike Evans on the other side of Chase, dude. The dude's 1,000-yard monster every year, no matter what. Yeah. Throw it up, let him catch it, dude. And then now on the other side too with this real quick is I'm looking at the running back situation.
That's where I was going. I was going to go the same spot.
I mean, Barkley, great, but then dudes, DeAndre Swift, Henry, and Austin Eckler. I don't think Eckler's going back. I can tell you that right now.
No, especially the way the offense is, the way that with them having Jim Harbaugh in that offense and the way the direction it looks like it's going.
He's going.
I don't see him staying, so I agree with you on that one. Derrick Henry would be interesting.
Henry.
Derrick Henry will be very interesting, to be honest with you.
That's what I'm saying. And then even Tony Pollard, bro, unrestricted free agent too. He all those people, bro. A lot of nice running backs also going. That's why I'm super, super pumped to see what can happen, man. A lot of action. That's why I'm saying this free agency time. I have a feeling you're gonna that first day. We're going to see a bang. Here you go. First, shot blown because they're let's get this squared away and not mess around. If you want what you want, go get it now and start building now. You know what I mean? Worry about the draft when the draft comes. And I think you can get some people, there's a few teams with a lot of money, big purses to have and could fill a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. And I agree. DeAndre Swift even, where does he go? Is he going to stay in Philadelphia? Because he was the most successful that he's been in his career in Philadelphia. So, Derrick Henry, there's been talk of maybe the Bears throwing some cash at Derrick Henry to see if he can come on there for a minute.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, I mean the Bears. I've heard chatter of the Bears potentially getting, either Josh Jacobs, going after him, going after Derrick Henry on the cheap for like 2-year contract, bringing in a rookie quarterback. Right. That way they don't have they've got extra money that they can spend because they're not paying the quarterback. Yeah, even Tony Pollard, honestly, is an interesting conversation for unrestricted free agent. Marquise Brown, he's had up and down years in Arizona. Gabe Davis, I think that's also another thing too. Like he could be a field stretcher in any offense.
Nice little role play for a certain team. Like you said, he can open up the field way more. He's done it for Josh Allen for a few years now. You can see what he can do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you look at Indianapolis, man, it's like they're about to lose Zach Moss, so like he's an unrestricted free agent. Michael Pittman, who's also an unrestricted free agent. So I mean, Indianapolis has.
Dude, that owner's a wacko too, bro. Let's be real. That dude is not like the smartest in the book, bro. So no. I wouldn't be surprised you see some wild stuff happen there. Like I can see Pittman being let go for some odd reason.
I mean, if they do, he'll be one of the top free agents because, like, coming out of college, dude, he was a very highly touted prospect coming out of college. So if they let him go, I mean, dude, I would love for the Bears to swoop in. He's still young. Give him a decent contract. Draft another rookie. Then you've got 3. I mean, they could have 3 elite wide receivers in the NFL.
Dude,
Caleb Williams. I mean, it could be insane, dude.
Yeah, it could be a monster stack and build. But I mean, like, if you throw Pittman with some of the top like wide receivers, man, like.
Pittman in Cincinnati. That'd be insane.
Burrow, Chase. Ridiculous.
Yeah, that'd be almost like it'll be almost criminal.
Like, yeah, keep going.
No, right. I mean, yeah. That's kind of like
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, those are the ones that really jump out at me. It'll be interesting to see the Mike Evans you already hit on. In Miami, you've got Devon Achane. Like some of these like players or guys and like. I'm really interested to see what happens with Alvin Kamara. Does he stay in New Orleans? He's not a free agent, but do they do something where like maybe they drop him because his contract is just, maybe they just cut him for whatever reason to save some cash. I mean, you're going to get a lot of that too right before free agents, or people are just going to get cut to save cash, maybe restructure their contract.
Yeah, for sure. I think Calvin Ridley might go, dude. He's restricted free agent, but I could see him going. Definitely.
Oh, yeah, there's already been talk about that, too, because so restricted just basically means that a team can make you an offer, and the team you're on has the ability to counter that offer to match it. If they want to, they can match it, and then you have to stay there. Otherwise, they let you go to the new contract. So,
because he could fit in a lot of teams, they could use him. He's a little speedster that might fit in, a nice little role. So
yeah, hell yeah, dude, hell yeah, yeah. Then down at the quarterback, so they got similar kind of setup here. So Josh Allen, QB1. QB2 is Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Pat Mahomes, which I agree more with this one. Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got Justin Herbert, which will be interesting to see with the new offense with Jim Harbaugh, how he kind of elevates Herbert's game or doesn't. Like, does he slow it down a little bit and pass less and run more like he's done in his previous offenses? Then you've got Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, and then that's pretty much and then it goes to Anthony Richardson, Justin Fields, and then QB10 is going to be way down.
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, CJ
Stroud's 10.
Yeah. So I agree with a little bit more of this one, actually.
Yeah, I like that. This one
just the order
reasonable, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, correct. 100%.
Because Fields is higher. I agree with that. He should be above CJ Stroud in my opinion, and also Brock Purdy and Kyler Murray. So I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. I like it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's a lot of chatter of like maybe Fields going to Atlanta. Could you imagine Justin Fields with Drake London? You've got Kyle Pitts. You've got Bijan. So you've got a lot of
fresh start.
Oh, dude, he's got weapons, and the defense is okay. The defense is pretty good, so it's not like it's in that, especially in that division too. Like they could run through that division easily. So
I'm excited, dude. I like it.
It's gonna be crazy offseason,
man.
It'd be interesting to see Aaron Rodgers actually coming back in the Jets. How that may actually look.
Let's see if he can survive running on the field this time, and 2 plays in. It'll be interesting.
Well, they need to get him offensive help. I mean, obviously, it's like
that line is a disaster. That's just as bad, bro. Like they've been talking about that the whole time.
Yeah,
you're wasting the good years on Wilson and Hall, bro. Like these are things you got these guys for cheap, and fix the freaking line, man. Rodgers is getting older, and then these guys are rookies, so coming off, like you got to make your moves now. like literally now.
100%, dude. 100%. Yeah. Then you got the Giants. What are the Giants going to do? Like you talked about a little bit. Are they going to go after still stick with Danny Dimes, who they just signed to a big contract?
They've talked about getting rid of him and talking to the Bears. I've heard that multiple times already up here.
Really? What are they going to give though?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what to give. Everything. They'll sell their soul to get him out because dude, I'm telling you, Dimes is not the answer in New York.
Well, the Bears will not take Danny Dimes. There's no way.
They'll trade Dimes or someone that wants a quarterback that think they can have it. You know what I mean? Like,
but that contract, that's the thing. It's like 4 years for $160 million. I mean, he's already had 1 year out of it, but it's like that's still 3 years and $120 million. Like, who's going to spend that much money?
I know that was a stupid contract by them by far, bro. I was like, dude, horrible management again. But hey, that's another story for another time, especially in New York. I'm used to hearing this for all my life. That's why I'm like, dude, I'm way far from them.
Yeah. You know what we should do next time? Well, we still need to get James on. I texted him earlier in the week to see if he wants to jump on. So we might have to figure out. He's got his microphone now, so we'll just figure out if he can come on camera.
Yeah.
We'll do James. You know what we should do? We should do I thought about this because I've seen this in a couple of different spots. Like we should do a draft, like a mock draft, a first round mock draft of just like all 32 teams and see what we think that how it would play out.
I'm down.
We'll do anything you want, to just kill some time, man. So, all right, man. You got anything else before we sign off, dude? Quick and easy. Hit this.
Nah, man. I got a table getting refurnished in like 20 minutes. It's gonna get refinished. So you know, that's my Saturday.
Sounds fun. I'm gonna go shooting for the first time in my whole entire life. Yeah, so something about having something that powerful in your hands kind of scares me, but
it's addicting. Let's put it that way. That's all you got to know.
Yeah, so that, and then I'm going to finish off with brunch and some good old Bloody Marys here in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee.
You sassy bitch, you. I love
it. Hell yeah. And then I'll have to get some wall art to put behind me.
Yeah, bro.
To finish up this the room, get it looking good again.
With it.
But yeah, bro, unless you got anything else, man.
No, man, we're good.
All right, so until next time, peace all. Please follow hit the subscribe button, tap in. We're going to try to do 2 days a week. We'll talk offline about what days of the week. We've said that a bunch, but we're going to lock it in. Saturdays is usually the easiest, so we'll keep Saturdays, and we'll figure out a weekday in the middle of the week, and we'll start spicing it up a little bit and doing some stuff.
Yeah, and as things get spicier towards combine, draft, free agency, we'll throw a couple extras for sure. And then once the season starts, we'll be ramping up. At least 3 days a week, I think, will be official.
Oh, dude, we'll be doing, and then we'll have to start doing some mock drafts, some redraft. We'll do some Dynasty rookie mock drafts. We'll kind of mix it up here and there. So keep subscribing, keep liking. Please comment below if there's anything you recommend. But until next time, peace. We're out.
Later.